Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we were working on doing a little bit of expansion here, while also thinking about what we want to do about these traffic jams. I mean, we have a solution to that, we just need to expand it. But we ran into some terrain issues up over here, and we'll deal with that in a moment. I just want to double check that this got zoned. It did. Okay. Looks good. So up over here, we've got a couple of on and off ramps that we need to make, and that is going to be interesting, to be sure. Let's see what this ends up looking like right now. If I recall correctly, this did need terraformation, but let's take a quick peek at what that is like. About a 30% grade. That is a pretty extreme grade. Okay, so we're going to need to take this section of highway out, and probably this section of road as well for the time being. I'm going to remove this as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to level out an area right over here. So I'm going to grab the level terrain tool. We're going to grab this guy and set this as the height in this area. This will get smoothed out a little bit later on. Now we're going to create a slope like that. There we go. And this is going to come straight on over in straight line tool. So we're just going to build this over with a very small grade here. It's going to be an 8% grade out over this way. But for now, what I want to do is I want to just take this through angle snap only, please. About like this. Okay, I want that to stay on the ground here. Cool. That's going to have to be reworked a bit in a moment, but we're going to need that there for right now. Next, we would want to bring this guy in over here. And really what I'd want this to do is drop to about in angle snap only mode. About right here or so. Now that comes back slope too steep, but we can put it here. Okay, now this is a pretty extreme grade, and we might need to do something about that, like elevating this, but let's see what that ends up looking like real quickly here. Okay, what grade is that? We're going to need to be in curve tool. So is slope too steep just staying on the ground there? Yeah, that's not surprising. So we're going to need to bring this back. This will need to be elevated higher than this. We're going to end up grabbing... I just wanted to experiment there a bit. So we're going to grab this height here and bring that through. Okay. Now, obviously, this is going to be potentially issues over here, right? But we'll see about bringing this road through for now, and then we'll correct this after we get these on-off ramps actually built. Looks like we can bring this through at a reasonable grade like this. That's going to be slightly problematic over here, of course, but for the moment, that'll do. Then what I want to do is I want to smooth out this area specifically. There we go. And I want to bring this road through so that we don't have any pillar issues. So this guy will have to come through in angle snap only mode to about here. There we go. And now this road is going to, or rather this highway, is going to come down in angle snap only mode here, here, and then we're getting slope too steep here. So that's definitely going to be slope too steep. No doubt about that. So how do we want to handle this one? Well, first thing we can do, this isn't really going to help, but first thing we can do is we can create a slope like that. Actually, that might help a little. But I'm willing to bet that we're going to have to knock this back a little bit here. Yeah. Okay. Let's take this out, and we're going to connect this in down over this way. So that's still slope too steep there. Yeah, this is a large height differential, no doubt about that. And the question is, how can we get this in? So this is going to need to go up to like 20 meters or something like that in terms of its height. I think we're going to have to take this back to about here and try to run this in something like that. So at 10 meters, we can actually put this in right here, barely. Okay. We can barely put that in there, and then we can bring that in like so. Yeah, that's barely indeed. But it does do the trick. So that looks good. And from here, this is going to have to come in here and then come in here. Can we get a roundabout in there? Slope too steep on this side. But we should be able to rebuild that. Not necessarily from here, but likely from here. Maybe a little further back still. So from about here. This is a kind of intense hill here. No doubt about that. Let's bring this out on angle snap only mode. And I'm just checking in here. Remarkable. Okay, we're going to have to knock this back even further. And this is going to have to start raising up at a relatively steep rate here. Absolutely remarkable, this hill. No doubt about that. So that's going to have to come up over here, right? That's still coming back slope too steep in some of these areas. I want to take a look at what exactly it's doing. I mean, that is a pretty steep hill. No doubt about that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this back even further, and we're going to start elevating this at a more steep trajectory. But the problem with that is, what do we do about these on-off ramps, right? Like, if we have this here at 20 meters up, that's all well and good. But what if we were to bring this up over, like, here? Well, this actually allows us to build this in like that. The question now is, can we get on-off ramps over here? And the answer to that is a definite, maybe. Probably not, though. So that's giving us invalid shape there. I want this to be in curve tool, and this would end up coming in here. Actually, it let us do that. Remarkable. Okay, we'll take it. We will absolutely take that. Yeah, it clips through a little bit. It's not perfectly ideal, but just the fact that we were able to build that, I'm happy with. So next up, we of course need an on-ramp over here, which we should be able to do relatively simply now that we've done this terraforming. And then that'll come out over here. No left turn allowed here or here. And we're able to build that in. Next, we want to eliminate these sections of road, and I'm going to remove these buildings as well. And we're going to need to smooth out this terrain as much as we can over here. And make it be something kind of like that. Then the question is, can we bring this over? Yes, we can. 16.5% grade. What about this way? Angle snap only, please. 91? Okay, whatever. That's probably close enough. Okay, so that... Actually, the problem here is this, I think. Hang on. I'm going to take that out for the time being. And we're going to try running this all the way over to here. It gives us overlapping items with these guys. Okay, fair enough. Let's just angle snap only this to here. Then out to here. What are we overlapping here? Oh, that pillar. Okay. So the pillar is going to have to be removed. That shouldn't cause us further issues. And now we can bring this in angle snap only mode, in theory, to right there. Okay. Now this highway can go back through. And again, as I said, that causes no issues. Okay. This is, not the cleanest thing in the world, but it does do the trick. So now we need to think about this side. And I feel like this is a less extreme situation. Oh, I wanted to be in curve tool. I just wanted to measure the grade there. So if we have this come up over this way, this is like a 26% grade. Yeah, that doesn't seem too bad, all things considered. So we're going to have to do some work here. I'm going to remove this road here. I feel like it can be just flat rebuilt and would be better than its current situation. Yeah, that's a significant improvement. So I want to end up removing both of these like that. Then we're going to need to get ourselves a relatively flat area over here for our on-off ramp. So I'm going to grab this height here, and we'll see how that ends up going. Something about like this. Then we're going to bring in our highway. So the highway is going to come down over this direction, right? And we want this to be... That's very steep there. That is very, very steep. Okay. So if we wanted this to come in at a buildable level, it would just come down over this way, right? And that's giving overlapping items up here due to the height of this road. So this road is likely going to need to be rebuilt. That is absolutely okay. Now, what is the minimum distance that we can go here? Right there. Gotcha. This should be in straight line tool at this point, and I want this to go right there. So at maximum steepness, and then we would bring this like that. Now, I think that we can't get this road underneath because of this area. That's definitely a suspicion there. So let's put the road through, making sure that this is absolutely okay here. I want to make this in angle snap only mode. Cool. So those get rebuilt, no problem whatsoever there. And then, of course, we're going to need to extend this out over this way. So what we need to do is have this be an angle snap only mode, positioning it about like that. Now, the question is, can we get the on-off ramps in this space? I think the answer to that is maybe. Let's find out. So that would be this coming in like right here. Yeah. And then this guy coming in. That slope too steep. That's just overlapping items.
How delightful.
And so's that.
Another letter from our
okay. So the issue here is that this is moving something over here, causing this to be slightly not enough clearance. Very, very slightly. Gotcha. I'm going to remove this section of highway here.
Traced back to the great Hayden himself. Let's see here.
Slope too steep there.
Yes. So, a raison
okay.
d'être.
Let's try bringing this out slightly wider over here. That's still slope too steep, but it's showing up as being up here. Okay. It would allow us to do this, though.
That's classical. Yes, indeed.
Sure. We'll take that. That seems reasonably fine. No left-hand turns allowed there. And I'm going to remove this section of highway here, and we'll see if we can maybe get that texture to redo as we bring this guy into here. Okay. The texture's a little better anyway. So we'll do something like that. And now, of course, we'll need to get this road back through. I'm guessing it's going to be too high if we just run it right now. Is that correct? Yes, overlapping items. So this should get solved, honestly, by just softening this out, I think. It's the theory, anyway. That'll get us a little bit more space there. We might have to carve out a bit of a, almost a tunnel for it. Yeah, it's very slightly too low. Okay. So we can grab the level terrain tool and just like carve something out like this, and then get this underneath it. So that's going to be out over like this way, right? That is actually not enough space still. Okay, fair enough. Let's get that out of there. Let's run the road through to be about here. We don't need it any further than that right now. And then connect this up if we can. So what this would end up meaning is we would want to have this level out. And we would want to have it have a pillar as close as possible here. So that hopefully it would be able to connect in out over this way. Unfortunately, that is sloped too steep there. Noted. So that's a bit of a problem for us. I think what we're going to have to do is knock this back a little bit, extend out this area ever so slightly, and then bring this guy down a little bit slower. So we would be targeting having this be about that's overlapping items. Now our problem is this road. Wait a sec. We can't run it over here? Due to overlapping items? Remarkable. So we're going to have to take this out and bring our highway back through here. And put a pillar on this side of this road. Then we would bring this until this is no longer slope too steep. Perfect. Right there. That's exactly where I wanted that to go. Now the core problem is that this is slope too steep. At about a 15% grade. Yeah, based on what it's trying to do there, I can see that. So we're going to start taking this as down as it can. Right here. And then look to bring this guy in out over this way. The real question is, what if we take these out and reconnect this up? That is a viable thing. Now we can put these back in. And we shouldn't have too much of a problem with that. Curve tool, please. That's coming back as slope too steep. Oh, we're in some awkward angling. Okay. So that slope too steep there. Where can we get this in? Gross. The answer is we can't. Okay, so I'm going to take this out of here. We're going to have to redo that. And we are going to run this in a slope terrain tool to this height. About like that. And then we're going to bring this highway in again. Just steadily decreasing its height down to about there. With the idea being that hopefully we can have this be back like over here. And this will need to be in curve tool. That's a 30% grade there? Really? That, I guess. We just don't have a lot of space to work with here, is the overall issue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this altitude, leveling this back out over here, and we're going to look to bring the highway down once again from here as quickly as we can. So this is going to need to come down to be... Oh, this is at 0 meters. We're going to need this to come down to 10 meters as soon as possible, which would be about right here. Okay. Can we drop this segment any more? So this would end up being in angle snap mode. It would come down to be like over here, right? And I'd drop it down to like 8.75. Oh, we need this to be in straight line mode. Okay, so we drop it like that. And then this can go back up to 10 meters. So that buys us a little bit of space. Then from there, we can pass directly over like that. And then bring it into the roundabout. Okay, now the question is that enough space? Well, let's find out. Hopefully it is. We need this at 0 meters, and that's absolutely fine. Oh, we're not in curve tool. That would help. Get rid of that. And let's try this. So, how's this going to go? 21.7% grade. This feels like it's potentially workable. That's 20.3. Hang on. Got him. Okay. Next one is going to be out over here. That's 24.8% grade. And it's actually getting more steep out over this direction. Okay. So are we falling away over here? We actually are a little bit. So I want to take this out of here. I want to grab this height. And we'll just push that through like so. And then I want to move this guy over to be about here. And now with that at the exact same height, we should hopefully be able to pull this out similarly. So that's now only a 20.2% grade. That's 19.3. That's 18.8. I think we need this to be under a 15% grade. We could have it go up over here, right? But that puts us at a 19.1, 18.6. It'll let us build this. I don't like how uneven these are. I'm going to try rebuilding this side here. Come on. Okay. I'm going to try rebuilding this side here. Yeah, that's semi-reasonable. What about up over this way? I think that's good. Okay. So that'll work, and we're going to say no left-hand turn in those locations. I'm not going to be concerned about our textures here. And we are going to extend this road out to here. And then over this way, I want to soften this out. We're going to need some terraformation work out here still. No doubt about that. But we can soften that out about like that. And the question is, can this come through here? The answer is yes, it can. There's a little bit of issue here, but that doesn't... that maybe stops us from building there. I don't think it overall does, though. So I think this is probably broadly okay. I'm going to remove this section of road here, and we're going to soften out this. With the idea being that we can clean this road up a little bit. And I think that we can. So that then comes through up over here. We'll do it in angle snap only mode. Cool. It's a 14% grade, but that works. Well, that was quite a thing. No doubt about that. Let's go ahead and zone this. I'm going to zone it high density business. And we're just going to grab from here and zone this entire area high density business, whether it was supposed to be that or not. Cool. These areas will get replaced. Okay, well, that was rather a lot. I'll be honest, when I embarked on these, I wasn't expecting this to be quite this intense. That's for sure. But intense it was. No doubt about that. So that's all good. We've got this under control. That should get our commercial area dealt with. Now, we've got this residential area down over here, and I'm hoping that this will be enough to cover this for now. But expanding this up here won't be anywhere near as difficult as what we just did here. So that should be absolutely fine. I was planning on putting another subway line in this episode, but unfortunately, I don't think we've got time for that, because that was definitely more extensive than anticipated. So taking a look at this traffic jam situation, this doesn't actually look all that bad. We've just got a lot of people trying to utilize these exits at this time. But it's not actually all that backed up. Over here, it's a similar sort of situation with people trying to use these exits onto these less high traffic streets. Particularly these bumper fuels over here. There's a lot going on there. And that is right in front of this intersection here, so that's causing a large amount of that problem. So that's... honestly, a lot of this is civilian, or not even civilian, like residential traffic, right? People going to or from their homes. There is some business traffic here, like this oil truck and this oil truck, and there's a bus here. We have buses? I didn't know we have buses. Okay, sure. Well, there's a bus there, apparently, and, I mean, there's definitely commercial vehicles here. But a lot of this is residential vehicles, and those are what we're targeting for removal from our roads. We're not going to be removing freight trucks, right? Not with what we have access to. With subways, that's not going to happen. I don't think we have any rail access. We could potentially have, like, a port down here, and then, like, a dedicated highway leading up over this way, but it's not well set up to have this be fed by a port. So in terms of reducing that traffic, I don't know that there's a lot to be done there. This here, the roundabout, is clearly causing the issue. The question is that a real issue, or is it an issue of people like this? Well, it's almost certainly a pathfinding issue. But I mean, it is potentially a bit of a throughput problem. We could do a bypass here. For the moment, I'm not too concerned about it. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, like, look at this. This is almost entirely residential vehicles. So I do think that the subway is the way forward. We can check in on that real quick before we go here. It is basically time to put a cut in, and I am going to go ahead and do that. But I just want to take a real quick look here. Okay, 7,000 from our fees. It's not a lot. We're putting a lot into maintenance of it, but for the moment, that's reasonably okay. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Kentogan, Ali Lee, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.